As Dr. Rice said, y'all can do better than that. Good morning. While we're getting set up, I'll go ahead and get started. It is indeed a pleasure and an honor to welcome you this morning. I'm very excited to be your named president here at Mississippi Delta Community College. I hope everyone had a wonderful, relaxing, rejuvenating summer and is ready to rock and roll to begin the fall semester. I thought a good place for me to start off telling you a little about myself. I was reared in Rosedale, over there on the river, also known as the Delta City of Brotherly Love. I come from a household where my parents did not have much. It was not a question of whether or not I was going to college. The question was where I was going to college. I chose to go to Delta State University. I completed my bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees at Delta State. Upon completing my bachelor's degree, I became employed there as a recruiter. This job entailed going to high schools and community colleges throughout the state in an effort to encourage students to attend Delta State. I worked at Delta State for a total of 14 years. I kind of progressed my way up the ranks. While at Delta State, I taught here at Mississippi Delta Community College as an adjunct. I taught on this campus, I taught at the CAP Center, taught at the GHEC, and I also taught when y'all had a center in Drew. I'm not sure if that's still open or not. Is Drew Center still open? But I taught there as well. So I'm very familiar with Mississippi Delta Community College. After leaving Delta State, an opportunity presented itself at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. I worked down there on the Perkiston campus and also worked on the Jefferson Davis campus. I was there for a total of 5 years. Then I was recruited to come to Hines Community College. Dr. Clyde Muse, president of Hines Community College, recruited me to come there. I worked there on the Raymond campus and left there as the vice president for the Utica campus. Then March 20th of this year, I came up here for an interview, and to God be the glory, I was fortunate to become the named president of Mississippi Delta Community College. Again, I am excited to be here. Going to tell you, my priorities in life, of course, I am a believer. I believe in God. My family, friends and family come next. This is a picture of my family. My wife, Kay, she is here somewhere in the audience. There she is. Please stand again. I think most of you met her earlier. And these are our two children, Kennedy and Tyler. Tyler is 12 years old. He is in 8th grade. And Kennedy, wants y'all to know, she is 9 years old, and she's in the 4th grade. And that's my family. Few important points. Go ahead and tell you my philosophy of education just in a nutshell. Use this as an analogy. And education is to a student's future like a foundation is to a house. Strong foundation, strong house. Strong educational background, strong promising future for our students. We must do that in a safe and orderly environment. I believe in strong student success initiatives. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about doing everything within our power to make sure our students matriculate through the system to achieve their educational goals. Of course, I'm talking more about this in a few minutes, strong enrollment management efforts. We must recruit students. Not only must we recruit students, but we must retain them until they graduate from Mississippi Delta Community College. I want us to be the best rural community college in America. That's my goal for this college, to be the best rural community college in America. That deserves a round of applause, the best. And one of the best among 2- and 4-year colleges in the nation. Excellence is the expectation. Excellence is the expectation. I'm not concerned with being poor, average, or good. I want it to be excellent. And I think this is a pretty good quote here. Excellent is not a destination. It's a continuous journey that never ends. All those dots there, everybody in this room represents those dots. And we should be targeting for excellence. Let me tell you a few of my expectations. I'm not talking about anybody, but I'm talking to everybody. And if it hurts, say ouch, okay? I'm going to tell you what my expectations. The number one reason why students should be here is to get an education. They should be here to get an education. I'm a firm believer that the bar should be set extremely high. And as educators, it is our duty and responsibilities to do everything within our power to make sure students achieve those goals. Not give them a handout, but give them a helping hand. The bar should be set extremely high. I don't apologize, I don't compromise on that. The bar should be set extremely high. It is our duty and responsibility to make sure students achieve that bar. Something that's equally as important outside the classroom. Research states that just as much learning takes place outside the classroom as does inside the classroom. Employers are not just looking for people who have done well in the classroom, they're looking for people who have been involved. So it's important for students to be involved outside the classroom. Speaking of outside the classroom, when your schedule permits, when we have athletic events, Phi Theta Kappa induction, student government meetings, activities and so forth, let's show our face at those activities. It means so much to our students when we are present. So when your schedule permits, please support students in outside the classroom endeavors. Be proactive. One of the number one traits I look for in an employee is an employee that is proactive, an employee who takes initiative, a person who has a lot of get up and go about himself or herself. Never let a person say your get up and go has gotten up and gone. I believe employees being very proactive. Be a recruiter. Be a recruiter. My children make fun of me every time in Walmart or Kroger I converse with a cashier and ask them if they're in college, trying to encourage them to come to college. I intentionally wear my name badge to stimulate conversation about going to college. I ask each of you to be recruiters. Something that's somewhat disturbing to me right now, we have 200 and, I think the enrollment report I saw this morning, we have 270 more admissions application in comparison with last year this time, with our enrollment being flat. So it seems like if we have an increase in admissions application, we should have an increase in enrollment. So we have a team of people who are working extremely hard, working after hours to try to make sure we have an increased enrollment. We're not down, but we're somewhat flat. So we need to do everything within our power to make sure we have an increased enrollment. Just imagine if everybody in this room were to recruit a student for the fall semester. I mean, we have a significant increase in enrollment. So I challenge each of you to assist in recruiting efforts. Be on time. Be on time. If the workday starts at 8 o'clock, we need to be here at 8 o'clock, period. If convocation starts at 10:30, we need to be here at 10:30. That's where I operate. And just using the example, again, I'm not talking about anybody. One of the first things I noticed when I came here, in my 35, 40 days I've been here, there was a meeting. And the meeting started at 9 o'clock, and we had some outside vendors to come here for the meeting. The only people, and it was like 10 people were supposed to be at this meeting. The only people that were there at 9 o'clock were the vendors and myself. To me, that was very embarrassing. On my watch, the dog won't hunt. So if we have an event starting at 9 o'clock, a meeting starting at 9 o'clock, it's the only time we should be late for a meeting or an event, and I'm not trying to insult anybody's intelligence, but I'm speaking to you from the heart. If we have an event, activity starting at a certain time, we need to be very punctual. The only time we should be late if there is an extenuating circumstance that causes us to be late. Hard work. Y'all, I'm going to give it 200%. I expect everybody in this room to give it 100%. I can assure you I've been working since I was 12 years old, and I'm going to give it 200%, and I expect everybody here to give it at least 100%. Campus beautification. I'm real big on the image. Some of you already know that, don't you? Campus beautifications. I like the grass cut low. I like a lot of weed eating, a lot of edges, and all that good stuff there. If a grass lawn can be immaculate, but a piece of paper on the lawn, that throws the whole thing off. And Don and his crew cannot do it by themselves. I try to make it a point between building A and building B. If I see a piece I look for paper on the ground. So it takes all of us working together in a collaborative manner to make sure our campus looks good. Research says the third reason why students decide on whether or not they're going to a particular college, they look at campus and see how the campus look. They look at campus beautification efforts. So let's keep our campus beautiful. Community partnerships. I'm real big on town and gown relationships. We need to make sure if you can become involved in outside of Mississippi Delta Community College activities, I encourage you to do so. Not only are you doing your civil service, that enhances your resume, but you're doing a great service for the college as well. Smile and say hello. And I think most people in here are pretty good about that. That goes a long way. I'm putting a lot of research here, but research says if a student comes to our institution, if that student has a good experience, they may tell 2 or 3 people. But if a student has a bad experience, they tell everybody they know and don't know. They tell at least 10 people. So it's so important to smile and say hello. One of my favorite saying is, everybody is not meant to usher at the church. So if you don't smile and say hello, you don't necessarily need to be on the front line. Get on the bus. Get on the bus. How many of you read the book Good to Great? That's a very powerful book. It talks about who needs to be on the bus, which seats need to be on the bus. I want everybody to be on the bus. I want everybody to come to work, be productive, and go home. Come to work, be productive, and go home. I want everybody to do that. I want everybody to come to work and be happy. However, if you're not happy or whatever the case may be, this may not be the right bus. But I want everybody to be on this bus, and I mean that. I want everybody to be on the bus. But if this is not the right bus, get off the bus. No love lost. I mean, get off, don't walk around miserable, upset, or whatever. Get off the bus. The show must go on. So get on the bus. Entrepreneurial spirit. Entrepreneurial spirit. When I say that is, I want us to not just think outside the box. I want us to be creative in the box. You will hear me say a lot of times, best practices, culture innovations, cutting edge. This goes along with being the best rural community college in America. I want us to have an entrepreneurial spirit about ourselves. Retention efforts. As I mentioned earlier, it is twice as important to keep students, to retain students, as it is to recruit them. We want them to stay here until they graduate. Dr. Lamb and I were looking at some numbers last week. We have a retention problem at this college. Looking at the trend, the retention numbers are kind of going down like this here. So we have to connect the dots. We have to figure out what's going on there. We're probably going to establish a task force to really look at retention efforts. By retention efforts, we're getting them here for the most part, but it looks like our numbers kind of going in a direction. So we must aggressively address that issue. Adhere to deadlines. Adhere to deadlines. It's very important. I believe in turning stuff in before the deadlines. I give myself a deadline before the deadline. I don't need people from Jackson telling me that Mississippi Delta didn't adhere to a deadline, especially people in D.C. saying Mississippi Delta didn't adhere to a deadline. So it's imperative that we adhere to deadlines. I brought my own shoes. I appreciate counsel and feedbacks, and I really appreciate that because it has been very beneficial, and everybody has been so warm and inviting and welcoming. I'm very grateful for that. I've had some great predecessors. I have the utmost respect for them, but I brought my own shoes. And by the way, I wear a size 11 and a half. I brought my own shoes, so I'm not here to fill anybody's shoes. I brought my own shoes. I tell students this all the time. We're representing Mississippi Delta Community College. Whether you're on or off campus, you're representing the college. Thick skin. Let's have thick skins. If I ever say something to you to offend you, the intent is not to hurt anyone's feelings. The intent, and I mean it from the heart, the intent is for you to grow. It's all about us growing. And that's the intent, so let's make sure we have thick skin. I know we don't have any drama around here, right? We don't have drama at Mississippi Delta Community College. Hopefully we don't. But I tell you one thing that can kind of minimize drama and just give you this advice. Because I detest drama like a sickness. I really don't like drama. The best, if you are having an issue with a person or a department, go to them and have a conversation about the issue. Don't broadcast it all throughout the campus. Go to the person or the department and have an issue, a conversation with them about the particular issues that you're having. That helps tremendously in minimizing drama. Professional development opportunities. We're going to have a lot of professional development opportunities, training and so forth around here. That's important for us to grow. Let's make it happen. That's one of my favorite lines. I don't do a lot of talking. I believe in not necessarily just talking the talk, walk the walk. I don't do a lot of talking, but let's make it happen. You will hear me say that on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, you may get tired of me saying that. Let's make it happen. Assessment and tracking. We must make data-driven decisions. Let's make data-driven decisions. It's not all about feel good. We need to compare data from year to year. Dr. Lamb, if you need assistance in what you need to track, Dr. Lamb will be more than happy to assist you in those efforts. So we must make data-driven decisions. Sense of urgency. Some of you already know I operate with a sense of urgency. I want everything to happen yesterday. If you're receiving an email, for example, I want things to happen in an expeditious manner. Receiving an email, for example, you shouldn't respond to it. We shouldn't respond to an email three weeks down the road. Even if you don't have an answer, let people know that you're working on it. I mean, even if it's not the answer that I want to hear, just shoot it back. Well, I'm working on something. I'll get back with you at a later date. So operate with a sense of urgency in everything that we do at the college. 22, I sweat the small stuff. Have you ever heard the book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff? I sweat the small stuff. I tell Don and his crew on a regular basis, a coat of paint makes a world of difference. I sweat the small stuff. If I look at your building, for example, and if you have half the blinds up and half blinds down and some of them kind of going diagonal, that looks like we're not orderly. I sweat the small stuff. So those kind of things I would address, and things, it helps us in recruiting and retention efforts. Student development concept, this is probably the most important slide on this PowerPoint. The little red guy there is indicative of an incoming student. We as employees, we represent the blue guy. It is our duty and responsibility to get students from point A to point B. That's what student development is all about. My ultimate goal for Mississippi Delta Community College is for students to leave here a better person. I want them to leave a better person. That's my ultimate goal. Teamwork makes the dream work. I'm sure you've heard that 100 times, but it does. Working together in a collaborative manner to accomplish tasks. Policies and procedures. I think Ms. Jones touched on it earlier. We will adhere to policies and procedures. I know sometimes we get tired of the bureaucratic process of policies and procedures, but it will save us a headache in the long run. It prevents EEOC complaints and those kind of things. We will adhere to policies and procedures. No ifs and whats and buts about that. Job description. Now, I have not studied the job description at Mississippi Delta closely. We don't say it's not my job. My job description I've looked at the last 25 years I've been in higher education. The last line on there says, all other duties as what? Y'all heard it before? Very good. So if it's not unethical, I mean, it's a part of the job description. I walk this campus every morning and I pick up paper, and that's all other duties assigned for me as well. It applies to me as well. So job description, if it's not unethical, it's part of the job description. Accountability. How many supervisors do we have in the raise your hand? Supervisors, you're responsible for holding your people accountable. We hold people accountable. Now, I've been told this here by a couple of people since I've been here, so I guess it must be some truth to it. Say when people don't perform on the task, I understand we find the right seat for people on the bus, but I heard this on a couple of occasions. When people don't perform a task, we put them at another location. And we don't operate like that on Tyrone's watch. I mean, if people are not performing their tasks, whatever, I mean, I understand people, some jobs are better fit for people. I mean, I understand all that. But if people are not performing, supervisor, we need to put them off the bus. Again, following policies and procedures. Yeah, I mean it. I'm not talking about anybody, I'm just being genuine, just telling you this up front on how I operate. Accountable. We hold each other accountable. Again, the expectation is high. We're going to hold each other accountable to doing our jobs. You should have received this book here, Who Moved My Cheese? It takes less than an hour to read, but it's based on mice. It talks about, I'm not going to tell you the book, but it takes less than an hour to read. When we have spring 2020 convocation, the convocation will be based upon that book. It's going to be a little different than this format here. We'll have breakout sessions, whole 9 yards, very interactive. So please read your book. You have between now and spring convocation to read the book. That takes about an hour to read. All right, do y'all recognize that guy there? Nick Saban, one of the most successful college coaches in America. So we have a little short video I want to share with you all. It takes about 2 or 3 minutes.
And the big part of being a team is you have to be able to communicate with other people. and you have to work with other people. And you can never have any team chemistry for this reason. Mediocre people don't like high achievers, and high achievers don't like mediocre people. So if everybody doesn't buy into the same principles and values of the organization and the same high standard, you're never going to be successful. Just like our spring practice right now. You know what my goal with spring practice is? Get the right guys on the bus, get them in the right seats, and get the wrong guys off the bus. So one of these days you're going to be working in an organization and somebody's going to try to do that to you. So which one of those people do you want to be? Do you want to be somebody that's trying to get off the bus because you're satisfied with mediocre performance? Because you can never have any team chemistry in your organization if everybody's not committed to the same standard and the same things. You know, when I worked for Bill Belichick, we had one sign in the building. It was, do your job. And you go in all these places and, you see all these things. One sign, do your job.
Well, I think Saban summarized everything I just said. I'm so glad you're here. If I can ever be of assistance to you, feel free to call upon me. I'll leave you with this here. Mississippi Delta Community College has a 4-day work week. I never heard of such a thing, a 4-day work week all year long. That's a bonus all by itself. That's the only thing they had to tell me, the 4-day work week. That is awesome. And you never heard it, a year-round 4-day work week? Y'all have it going on. But in those 4 days, those 4 days that you are here, I want you to assist in maximizing your potential while you're here. We're going to accomplish great things here at this college. We're going to accomplish great things. We're going to take this place to higher heights. And this is just not a commitment from my lips, but my words, my bond. We're going to do some great things at this college. And I need your assistance. All you buying into this in a collaborative manner, we're going to accomplish great things. Welcome to the fall 2019 Convocation semester. Excellence is the expectation. Thank you very much.